Okay, guys, so let's have a look at the second stanza of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And I think it's been a few months since I made the first video, so sorry it took me so long. So let's check it out. It says, "Ah, distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore." So I'll go through it real quick so you have a better idea of what it means, and then go through the vocabulary and then kind of translate it into um, modern English a little bit. So this is saying distinctly, I remember it was in the bleak December, like in the dark December, and each separate dying ember. Ember we're going to see is like the coals from a dying fire, like the remains of a fire, wrought, kind of created, or I guess in this case it would be kind of like it left the ghost. Kind of manifested its ghosts upon the floor. Eagerly, I wished the morrow. So this means that I couldn't wait for morning. Vainly, I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow. Right, I was reading because I was trying to uh, forget my loneliness. I was trying to drown my sorrows. Yeah, like we say in English now, we drown our sorrows in a drink, for example. So he was doing the same thing by reading, and he was trying to forget Lenore, who it seems is his girlfriend or wife or something, who has died. And he says at the end, "Nameless here forevermore." He says, "Nameless here on earth" is what he means. Nameless here, right? Because she's not on earth. Okay, vocabulary. Bleak means cold and miserable, very similar to the word dreary that was in the first stanza. So there's a bit of parallelism. Um, then there's wrought, which I wrote make, create, forge, but I probably should have put made, because it would be an adjective meaning to something is wrought, something is made or done or created, right? Um, it used to be it used to be the past tense of the word work, right? And then it became a regular past tense. So if you speak Spanish, and I'm not sure in Portuguese, but if this is the case, but in Spanish you say if something is well, you say something is well made. You say it's kind of well worked. Let's say like it's got good workmanship. Yeah, we still say something has good workmanship. So think of it in this sense. Okay. Anyway, in this case, something that was done or made or something like that, we would say. Um, Ember, the remaining coals of dying fire, right? So it's sort of, and it this is something symbolic because it's kind of like it's a dying fire, right? So you know there's the fire is almost gone, right? So for sure this is something symbolic in the poem about how he feels. Perhaps his the he feels like he's losing the memory of his of Lenore, right? Maybe, yeah. That's just speculation on my part, but it's certainly poetic language here. Certainly represents something. Morrow is morning. It's an old word that means morning, and of course we have the word tomorrow, which comes from this word. Surcease means to stop, and of course you see it contains the word cease, so that's the hint about what it means. Surcease, to stop, right? And he's talking about stopping the sorrow that he feels, the sadness that he feels. He's trying to stop it by reading. He's trying to entertain himself. He's sort of trying to distract himself from this sorrow that he's feeling. And evermore is forever, right? We I think we even have the word forevermore, right? So could say evermore or forever. Okay. Okay, so let's look at my translation in quotation marks. I remember it was a dark day in December. The coals from the dying fire were like ghosts. I couldn't wait for morning, and I tried to distract myself by reading. I needed to get away from the sadness I was feeling. Hey, that kind of rhymed there a little bit, right? So he says, I needed to get away from the sadness I was feeling since Lenore was gone. Lenore was a beautiful girl that is nameless here on earth, or a beautiful woman, maybe I should have said, right? A beautiful woman that is nameless here on earth is the idea. Yeah, and so that's why here, if you go back to the second stanza, that's why here is in italics, right? Because it's very important. Here is she doesn't have a name here, but yet he repeats the name over and over again, right? And my theory is the dying ember kind of um, represents this, right? Um, this he's trying to keep this memory alive, and it's seems to be losing it, right? I think it's an interesting contrast there because it's kind of like he's losing uh, that memory, but at the same time, he's trying to run away from it, right? Because he's running away from the sorrow that he's feeling. So yeah, I mean, it's there's a reason it's everybody learns it in school. It's a very very good poem. Okay, guys. So I hope that was useful. There's the translation there. I hope you found it useful. Hope you found this video useful. And if you did, please subscribe and all that. All right. Thanks for watching.